and welcome to the VR Flight World YouTube channel. So today we're going to take a flight from Midden in the Netherlands over to Axel in the Netherlands. And the reason I'm taking this flight in the Netherlands is because I have some new scenery from ORBX. It's the TrueEarth Scenery, and it's pretty amazing. It's in Aerofly FS 2. That's what we're flying today. And it runs pretty good. When I'm in Amsterdam, I find that the frame rate does drop for me, but when I'm out in the fields and over top of less dense scenery, it runs really well for me. I can still run fine in Amsterdam. I just have to lower my settings a little bit. So let's give her a shot here, and we'll take a flight. So I'm going to add in one set of flaps here, as it looks like we have some trees right at the end of this runway. It's kind of an unkept runway by the looks of things. Some dandelions on the runway. Alright, here we go. Alright, it's a piece of height. Let's take away our flaps. So as you can tell, I did set a route in Aerofly, but when I did set the route, it was kind of an automatic route it took. And it looks like it made it for a bigger aircraft here, so we're not going to worry as much about the route. We're just going to fly across, and that'll just give us a general idea where we're going. Let's go a little higher so you can see it from a little bit higher height. As you can see, it looks really neat. All the fields, very realistic. The nice thing about this scenery, you don't really see any spots. It all looks real. There's no spots that look like a satellite image where you see a house that should have been there that's not actually there. And as you can see now, in Aerofly you can actually adjust your mixture, which before was kind of a disappointment for me because you couldn't adjust your mixture, but now you can. One other thing I found with Aerofly before was that you weren't able to take your plane into a spin, and stalls were kind of unrealistic. So let's just take our plane into a stall. I'm just going to show you guys quick here while we're on our way how the plane acts in a spin. Alright, so we're going to do a power on to really induce the spin. Off some of the airspeed, and here we go. We're just going to totally induce this into the spin. There we go, power off, ailerons neutral, rudder, and up we go before our airspeed increases. I found that was actually pretty realistic. especially with VR, it gives you that that feeling of like you need to get this done quick or something's going to go wrong. This is a fairly new flight sim, Aerofly, so they're every day there seems to be something new with Aerofly that's some improvement to the system. Like I said, the mixture was one big one that came out, and I really appreciate that one because that's I like having all the controls that we can have in the plane. Just do more realistic experience, and also if you're climbing to altitude, it's nice to be able to adjust your mixture properly versus just hoping for the best. And especially with when I do this, I want to do it for flight training versus just flying because I'm flying in a flight sim. I'm less about enjoying the scenery, even though I do love the scenery, and more about the training. So, but having the scenery does really add to the experience. So it really makes you feel like you're in a plane. Like, that's incredible scenery. That's incredible scenery down there. So to look down and to see the fields, and yeah, it's just amazing. Some little towns down there. See, I'd probably rather fly over this than I would in the dense city, but that's just my preference. We're gonna climb a little bit up here. So I can't actually see what my frame rates are in my headset, but I believe it should be displaying on the recording, so you should see the frame rates as I'm flying here. The way I record is it's actually recording my screen. It's not recording inside the Oculus Rift, it's recording from my screen, which is projecting what I see onto my screen. So that's another thing as well. Right now, when you're flying this sim, you're most likely not going to be recording at the same time. I am, so I'm adding a little more stress to my system than needs to be. Now, one thing I'd like to have in a sim that I don't see in many of the flight sims is actually a carburetor, a carb heat. Now, obviously in this plane you don't need carb heat, but it would be nice to be able to find an older Cessna 172 that you could fly in a sim that has carb heat in it, because in an X-plane it's a fuel injected plane. There's no carb heat. There's no carb. Same with this plane. It's fuel injected, so there's no carburetor, so no need for carb heat. But it's something that most of us aren't going to, or a lot of us aren't going to be flying in fuel injected planes. We're going to be flying the older style Cessna. So to actually practice that, when to add carb heat, when not to add carb heat, it'd be nice to actually have it built into a sim, so you could practice. Put the carb heat on when you're at idle, take it off when you're needing full throttle. So we're a little higher now. As you can see, little town down there. It's pretty amazing. It really feels like you're in a plane when you're flying around in the scenery. Like I said, Aerofly does a really great job of allowing you to put the most, like, have the highest settings you can and still run at a fairly good frame rate. And right now I'm running a 1060 with 6 gigabytes of VRAM. And a lot of people when they go into VR flight sim will go straight to a 1080 if you can afford it, a 1080 Ti, or even the new 2080 or 2080 Ti. Then by all means, the more the better with VR. Now with the Aerofly, that might be a little overkill, but if you're adding in scenery like this and you want to fly over, for example, Amsterdam, you may want that 1080 to have a smooth flight, because it really does affect my frame rate when I fly over Amsterdam. That's just because it's such a dense scenery. There's so many buildings, so many custom buildings. It really affects it. So. So we're gonna just fly down towards this town over here. Give you guys kind of a close-up look at what it looks like in the city. So. As you can see, it's pretty impressive. There's lots of custom buildings. Seems like most buildings in the city are custom. Get a little bit of height before we go to the airport again. Now, I've never actually flown into this airport, so we'll see. I'm not even sure if it's a paved runway, a grass field. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to be landing at. Alright, in the range there for some flaps. Oops. Do 20. Trim that out. Climb a little bit. Alright guys, thanks again for watching. Hope you guys had, hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you guys in the next video. Make sure you guys subscribe. I'm going to be putting out more videos at least once every 2 weeks, but we're going to be trying to even increase that every week. As well, the VR Flight World podcast is up and running, so make sure you guys check that out. Or just go to our website at vrflightworld.com and you can find out exactly what we're doing. Hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you in the next video.